Yes, recently I met someone online, said he didn't smoke, but he does. Why lie? Because he knows that you probably don't want to be with a guy who smokes. And so what happens sometimes, and this works with men and with women, is sometimes people will lie and then they'll get that person emotionally invested. And then once that person's emotionally invested, they all of a sudden are like, but here's the true me, right? This is the reality of the situation. I'm 10 years older than I said I was. Have all these problems that I, have, or what, whatever, right? And a lot of times it works because the person's like, you know what, I don't even care anymore. I care about you and all that kind of stuff, and let's move forward. And so a lot of people will lie initially because it works. It works long term. And so what you want to do is make sure that you're not over investing in anybody so that when you find out that, he's actually still married and, he's I don't know, like got some kind of weird bad addictions where he's really into clowns, like really little clowns. You open the door one day and you are like looking, he's got some magazines and they're all filled with naked clown guys, or whatever, right? You don't want to find that out about him and be super emotionally invested, right? And so a lot of guys will hide things just like a lot of women will hide things just like that, right? And then you'll end up finding out about it, and that's why you don't want to be overly. It would be great, right? There was a woman today who was complaining on our Facebook page who was like, men who deceive women and tell them that they're interested in something more and then aren't, they should be prosecuted by the law, right? Like women do the same thing. Like, here's the reality is that people shouldn't lie. People should be honest. People should be upfront about what's going on with them. And the reality is that a lot of people aren't, and they don't. And that's something that we just all have to deal with now. And because of that, we need to make sure that we're protecting ourselves and we're setting ourselves up so that we don't get overly invested or fall in love with somebody only to find out that they have a giant closet of red flags that they've been hiding from you. And so you want to make sure that you're following my system. Number one, make sure you're following my system. And number two, don't get overly invested in a guy in the early stages. Just wait, spend some time with him, get to know him without hooking up with him, without doing all these things that everybody's doing right now, because we live in this society right now. The social media society is what I call it right now. It's like everybody's used to bing, I know what's going on now. And then they send their friend a message and they're like, ding, 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 right? And then they send the message and the person receives it and they immediately send something back. And so everybody's like, I need to get it right now, right? And Amazon, if you order something from Amazon, they like fly it over with a drone within like 3 hours of ordering it. And so everybody's like, everything should happen right now, immediately, right? And the reality is that we should wait a little bit before we're getting overly invested in things, before we're jumping into relationships, before we're hooking up with people that we don't know, before we're showing up at people's houses on first dates and all that kind of stuff. All that stuff is nonsense. Stop doing it. Just wait a little bit and get to know people a little bit better before you jump into a situation with them so that you can make sure you're getting yourself into a good situation. And that's what I totally ran off on a tangent there. Totally ran off on a tangent.